Hi guys, it's Carol, and today I'm going to bring you along for a plan with me. Before we jump into that, I want to introduce you to a product I formulated for my homeschool kids to help them with their brain clarity and function. Okay, so this is Upbeat. This is a roller blend formulated using essential oils that traditionally have been used to support your brain function. So it helps with focus, clarity, and even endurance. So it's a great thing to have on hand and put on your kiddos and yourself whenever you're going to be doing a task that requires a lot of focus. For planning my homeschool day, this is exactly what I use. So I'll leave this down in the description box so you can check it out and also check out all the products that I have on my Etsy shop. Let me just give you a background on how I plan my school year. First and foremost, what I've learned in the 10 years of homeschooling is that whenever I try to plan the entire year, I feel stressed because things happen. There's material kids don't like, so it takes them longer. There's materials kids love and wants to explore and do other things relevant to that specific lesson, so you spend more time in it. There's just some that they just blow through. And so instead of setting the schedule almost like in stone, where it was creating anxiety anytime they either went forward or they stood behind because I wanted to get them on the schedule, okay? Let me just liberate you and say there is a way that you can enjoy this homeschooling journey, and the purpose is to go at the speed of your child. That is the beauty of having them home. In the last 10 years, I've learned just to plan 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So if you're using a curriculum that already has the teachers like lessons for you, this is great because you just have your main idea, right? It lays it out for you, and then you can plan the 2 weeks ahead and see how your kids are doing. So even if you do not have a curriculum where the teacher's lessons are explained to you, you can still take the same model and apply it. So I do 2 weeks in advance. That is it. The first thing I do is I open my monthly spread on my homeschool planner. I check whatever's going on that day. Any theme that I want that day, then I'll put it in there. Any field days, birthdays, or special events that I know are not gonna change, I'll put in there. And then as far as lesson planning is concerned, I only do 2 weeks at a time, okay? Also, my friend is the pencil, because if something doesn't work out, I can erase it and then put whatever it is that I did there. There have been so many times where we've done a lesson and my kids have been so intrigued, they want to explore certain things, and I have to add to that. And just so I can keep a record, I keep writing things down, so I give myself that space, and I always write it with pencil in case I have to erase. Just my own quirkiness and preference. So without further ado, let's jump into my plan. Hi guys, so this is the planner that I am using for this year. Okay, and the way I start is with my monthly spread. On this spread, I put things that are not going to change, things that are going to happen no matter what. People's birthdays, I have a little sticky here for privacy, but first day of school, and if I had field trips, theme parties, or any of that sort of thing, it would go in here. And then I take notes for this month. So for me, 5 in a row, these are the books that I am going to be needing for this particular month. So that's how I use the monthly spread, okay? Let's begin with the 2 weeks, starting on the 14th, which is when I'm going to begin. Now, I have been schooling throughout the summer lightly, so I am going to be jumping in on the 14th full force, because since they have been doing school throughout the summer, I don't need to ease them into anything. In fact, the schedule stays pretty much the same. So here I have this particular planner, which I have done a review and a flip through. I will link it on the cards or in the description box below. Already has the 5 core subjects. Now this is faith-based. However, I would still encourage you to get this particular planner because it is just full of homeschooling resources. If you don't want to use Bible, just put a washi tape on that and place another subject, and you could still use the boxes, okay? So for us, we're gonna use it. I have already scheduled certain things. I have my Bible, my history, my science. Here for English, I want you guys to see I have a P, R, S, and L and S, okay? That stands for penmanship, reading, spelling, and letters and sounds, okay? So these boxes are for 4 individual students. I only have 2. One is in preschool, so I'm just going to be using one of the bottom rows for her because all she's gonna do is circle time, and then she's going to join us with all the family topics. So I just only have to write it once. So for my son, I decided to use all 4 boxes for English and divide them between penmanship, reading, spelling, and letters and sounds. Okay, so here we go. We're going to add our math, and like I stated before, I only go 2 weeks in advance. So if you see here, I continued my history. Let me break it down as to how the schedule works, okay? For social studies, we are using Story of the World, and that's going to be typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, however, this week we have a craft project, which means they're going to be doing Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Okay, that's just a little tweak. It's for me, but for the most part, it's just going to be doing Story of the World on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, Story of the World, 5 in a row, poetry time, missionary read out loud time. Math and arts is something that we're going to be looping through our morning basket. That's going to be our morning time that we're going to be doing as a family. So those are our family topics. Both of my kids will be at the table for those things. Then we have my math and my English, which is strictly for my first grader. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. He's going to be using Abeka's Arithmetic 1. And so we're going to be planning his lessons. And he already did one. Gauging that, I know that I am going to do lesson 1 and 2 on the same day. It looks like just number recognition. That's what he's going to be working on. Okay. Okay, so for math, we have on the first day, he's going to be reviewing his counting by 2, 5, and 10. He's also going to be working on number recognition, and he's going to be doing lessons 1 and 2, which is page 1 through 4. And that should take him about 15 to 25 minutes, give or take. And that's including all the review, okay? So for Tuesday, since he's going to be doing math and English are the topics that he's going to do 5 days a week, okay? So he's going to continue to review his countings, 2, 5, 10, addition facts for 2 and 3, and then he's going to be doing lesson 3, page 5, 6. All right, and then once he's accomplished it, I could just check this box, and that's it. Guys, I have to admit that as I planned, my video cut off, so I pretty much filled everything out for you. But I did want to talk to you a little bit about my Fridays. So I've planned already my schedule. This I am going to repeat 1 more week. So I keep stressing that. For us, we only plan 2 weeks ahead. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do our history. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do science. Fridays look different from the rest of the week. So even though English and math are topics, they're core topics, and I have mentioned before that they do them 5 days a week, they do it differently come Fridays. So for instance, their math portion on Friday is more of a mind bender, okay? So it's more logic than it is math. And what these are little puzzles that have them do critical thinking. So for instance, this is the one that he's going to do the first Friday that he goes back in September. So you read the directions, you write out a Y or an N in any of these boxes. And then based on what they ask them, that's how they figure out the puzzle. So these are little logic puzzles. That's what he's going to be doing for his Friday math. So technically it's logic. Fridays I like to use as enrichment. So it's a day where we do things a little bit differently. We're setting up for the weekend. In the year, you'll have more projects to do, more crafts to do for either science or history. And so those days on Fridays, you can kind of immerse yourself a little bit more. I also use Fridays to introduce art or music. The first week, we're going to be introducing art, and they're going to be doing watercolors. I keep my art or music and my poetry time relatively in theme. So we do for lunch a poetry tea time. During that time, we do our poetry. Since we're going to be doing watercolors for our art, what I'm going to do for our poetry tea time is I'm going to be using poems that have illustrations that use watercolor. And that will hopefully start a conversation about the watercolors and about the poems itself. So for the first week, we have mind benders. We have a project to do for science. It's just a small little chart. And then we're gonna have some art during our poetry time. Following week, we move to music for our Friday enrichment. So what we do during poetry tea time is that we not only speak about this composer, we're gonna be speaking about Henry Schutz, but we're also going to be listening to his music, okay? And again, that's all in an effort to start to type some communication. Will they remember the name of this gentleman? Probably not, but they will remember the type of music. They will remember having music during this time. So it's all about building culture, building different experiences. So this is my week 2. I started already to plan it. Okay, but this is my complete week 1. My to-do list includes the books that I'm going to be using for those 2 weeks, any type of other supplies that I'm going to need, whether it's for my science or for something else. We will include my dinner menu. I will include as I go whether or not I've worked out, and then whatever's gonna happen during the weekend. Some people like to plan more, some people like to plan less. I'm of the mindset that less is more, and therefore I just kind of look at this as an overview, and that helps me to keep the stress to a minimum. All right, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the Etsy shop for that wonderful roller blend. Helps you with focus and brain function. Get to subscribe and share it across social media. Thank you guys and have a great day.